Yeah, hello. Welcome to the introductory video to the basic definitions of project management. So in this video, we'll be explaining what is a project, what is an operation, what is a program, what is a sub-project, what is portfolio management, what do you mean by enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets, and the roles and responsibilities of the project manager and that of a sponsor. So coming back to the definition of a project, so every project has a fixed start and end dates. Projects are performed by people. Projects are progressively elaborated. That means when we start a project, we have very less information about the project. And as we get into the project more and more, we gain more and more insight about the project. We call it as progressive elaboration. And every project delivers unique products or outputs. So the deliverable of a project is supposed to be unique, and projects are constrained by limited resources of time, cost, and scope. Uh, Maybe designing a car is an example of a project, or setting up a factory for the production of vehicles, that is an example of a project. Now, operations are also performed by people. Operations are also constrained by limited resources of time, cost, and scope. Operations produces standard outputs, whereas projects produces unique outputs. That is one fundamental difference between projects and operations. Operations are ongoing in nature. Uh, so these are the similarities as well as the dissimilarities between projects and operations. An example of an operation could be um, manufacturing cars is an operation, whereas setting up a factory for manufacturing cars is an example for a project. A program. A program is a collection of interrelated projects which, when done together, gives you some value than doing them one after the other. So in my country, I can see where agencies like the road transport authorities will come and lay a beautiful road, and within a week's time, maybe the telecom department will come and demolish it. Uh, this is because of improper program management. So if all these inter-departmental activities, if it can be coordinated as a single program, then the situation can be improved. Then sub-project. For ease of management, we can break a project into sub-projects. Typical example is Delhi Metro, where the project was subdivided into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and each phase was managed separately. So that is an example for sub-projects. Portfolio management. Uh, the definition of portfolio management, it is the process of selecting the best projects for execution, which are in true alignment to the organization strategy for growth, and then continuously maintaining that alignment in order to achieve strategic business goals is an example for portfolio management. So that is a definition of portfolio management. So a portfolio is a basket of projects, programs, and sub-projects and other work that are executed in order to achieve some strategic business goals. So portfolio is always linked to achievement of strategic business goals, and it has three compartments. One is the selection of the right projects or the best projects. Here we use ratios like NPV, BCR, payback period, opportunity cost. So all these ratios are used to pick up the right projects, and then they are executed effectively using the project management concepts. And the last phase is measuring the returns from these projects in order to see whether it is tallying with the forecast you made to justify the projects in the first place. The whole spectrum of things put together, we call it as project portfolio management. Then comes enterprise environmental factors. So before getting into a project, we should see um, we should understand the geological factors of the location where the project is executed, the labor laws of the country, the pollution laws of the country, the religious beliefs of that country, the cultural beliefs of that country, the climatic conditions of the location of project execution. So without these things, we cannot plan a project effectively. So if you are planning a project to be executed in the Middle East, during Ramzan time, people will be fasting and they'll be working only 4 hours per day. And if you come out with a schedule which assumes that people are available for 8 hours per day, then your schedule will not work. So we need to understand the national holidays, the local ceremonies, festivals. So all these things will have to be incorporated into your schedule. Otherwise, you will not get a feasible schedule. So these are all examples of enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. So whenever you start a project, you can leverage on the procedures, the guidelines, the tools, the templates, the lessons learned from past projects, the organizational metrics, the proprietary processes of the relevant stakeholders. So having a grip on these things will help us to plan our projects effectively. Then comes the roles and responsibilities of the project manager and the sponsor. So project manager is ultimately responsible for the success and failure of the project, and is responsible for planning, preparation of the plan, execution of the project as per the plan, getting the human resources on time, and inducting them into the project, recognition and reward systems, coordinating with other stakeholders, managing the risk. So communication is key. So project manager is supposed to communicate to other people. So 90% of the project manager's time goes into communication. So if the project fails and if somebody's head is on the chopping block, it is the project manager's. The roles and responsibilities of the sponsor. The key responsibility of the sponsor is to own the roadmap of the project, and he or she is responsible for providing the funds for the project on time so that execution is not affected. Then the other roles include issue resolution of the issues which is escalated to him or her by the project manager. Then conducting the senior management review meetings, which is also known as stage gate or phase gate or kill point meetings. And based on those meetings, one has to decide whether the project can move forward or not. So it is responsibility of the sponsor to get into all these things. So anything strategic to the project is handled by the sponsor, whereas anything tactical related to planning and execution and all those things is done by the project manager. And another key responsibility of the sponsor is coming out with the project charter, updating the project charter, reapproving the project charter, identification of the stakeholders, then coming out with the stakeholder register. So all these things also are part of the roles and responsibilities of the sponsor. So in project management, the project manager is not all alone. There is another entity called the sponsor, who can be an individual or a group, and they also want the project to be successful. So they have to work very closely to achieve the project objectives. And thank you very much, and I hope this video brought in some clarity to the concepts too. Thank you very much.